Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we're discussing a model launched in 2021 and still quite special. From Tudor, this is the Black Bay 58 Bronze. So it's part of the Black Bay 58 series of smaller, more historically themed Black Bay divers that launched in 2018. This 2021 edition brings an aluminum intensive bronze alloy and corresponding tones throughout. 39 millimeters in diameter, it's 47.6 lug-to-lug with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. If you measure it with the strap included, the thickness is 13.1. On a different strap that's not underslung, it would be 12 millimeters thick. The watch is on a strap made in France in the Saint-Étienne region by Julien Faure, and it is a beautifully executed strap. The partnership between Julien Faure and Tudor going back to 2010, and these are made on vintage looms. A really good look, though. You can see, unlike most NATO straps, it works like a regular strap. So you have a pin buckle, and then you have perforations, so you don't have the awkward gooseneck closure system that crimps and fixes a standard NATO. It's a little bit more convenient. The hardware is also bronze and nicely faceted and brushed. You can see this one features a little bit of a Tudor shield motif that's built in. You can see the latter-day post-1968 Tudor shield logo. You'll also see it on the dial. The pre-1968 rose logo is on the crown. Now you can see these have been around for a few years, and this aluminum intensive bronze is designed to not discolor excessively, but patina slowly and lightly over time. And this is a good example of one that has an attractive patination that's even all the way around and handsome, but doesn't go over the top. You don't worry about it, for example, dyeing your wrist a different color. You can also see that the case back is made of a different material to expressly present a solution should you use a different strap, so that it doesn't turn your wrist a different color. Now, the case is mostly a combination of satin surfaces. We have the lug hoods in satin, we have the case flank in satin, and then we have these expanding bezels, which are a nod to the way Tudor and Rolex Submariner cases were made in antiquity. This is a watch that harks back to the vintage reference 7924, perhaps more than any other. And so we've got this crown without guards, we've got the lovely tapered bevels, we've got a no-date dial, we've got a chaptering, though it is not strictly a vintage re-edition, as it includes elements of later Tudor subs like the snowflakes of the late 60s and mid-70s period, and you can see that in the design of the handset. We also have applique numerals and indices on the dial, a much richer arrangement than you would have found historically on Tudor subs. Taking a look at the bezel, it has a nice micro knurling that's easy to grip even if your hands are wet, sweaty, or gloved. And then we've got this bubble-like sapphire that's designed to evoke a vintage plexi. The bezel has a nice, easy grip whether your hands are wet, sweaty, gloved, or slimy. And just to check, so there can be no doubt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 60-click bezel with an excellent sharp detent. We're going to do a Lume Shot now. And you can see that you can line up the minute hand with the bezel pearl, and you've got a 0 to 60 minute count-up timer. Seconds hand is luminescent. Not every dive watch does that, but it should, because you should know whether your dive timer is running. More likely, your backup dive timer is running in the dark of the depths. I always prefer a dive bezel to a chronograph. I find them easier to read, more intuitive if you're timing something over 30 minutes but less than 60, and you don't get the big downstream maintenance costs that you get with a chronograph. A lovely aluminum anodized bezel insert, and though you can't see it underneath the case back, we have a caliber MT5400 automatic winding with ceramic rotor bearings, bidirectional action, 70-hour power reserve, 5-position adjusted COSC Swiss chronometer, full balance bridge with a free sprung balance for shock resistance, and a silicone anti-magnetic hairspring for resistance to magnetic flux in your home and office life. It's a 27 joule movement, and it is a Tudor Kinesi manufacture caliber. So this is Tudor's own 70-hour chronometer automatic. Also important to note, it has hacking seconds if you want to set it to a reference time. And the MT5400 is both smaller in diameter and thinner than the 5600 you find in bigger Black Bays. So Tudor went all the way, custom designing a smaller movement for the smaller watch, even if in theory the larger movement could have been made to fit. It probably would have resulted in a thicker watch. So Tudor dotting all the I's I's, crossing the T's. Reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details of this 200-meter dive watch.